Chris, we're in Mark chapters 1 through 3.
Mm-hmm.
So why don't you just set up the situation? Who are we going to meet in these chapters?
Yeah, so Jesus is kind of coming on scene, and he's getting ready to call his first disciples,
Right.
really. And these are just random people,
Yep.
like everyday Joes. There's fishermen, and we're going to learn about some tax collectors and all these
Yeah.
people that you wouldn't think that,
Yeah.
that Jesus would go after. He does here.
Yeah, so they're ordinary guys. They're relatable guys. Jesus, it turns out, is a relatable guy. And of course, we're going to learn from the relationship guru himself, Jesus, in this lesson. So the first thing that you say for us is that people are interested in people who are interested in them. How did Jesus model that?
Yeah, I think, the first thing that we see is Jesus met them right where they were at. I mean, they were fishermen, and he said, "Come follow me, and I'll make you fishers of men."
Right.
And so really what he's doing is he's making it about them.
Yeah.
Most of us in our relationships, we can have people that make it about themselves,
Yep,
really, instead
yep.
of having a relationship be about, what can I know about you?
Yeah.
What can I learn about you? That's more attractive in relationship, I think.
Yeah, well, and I know you're a very relational guy. One of the things I've learned, even from you, is you're so good at engaging someone and helping them to talk about themselves, right? What a great relationship tip to say, just ask them questions about themselves, get them talking about themselves, because everybody loves that, right?
Yeah, I mean, you think about our culture, right? A lot of people like to make it's a me culture. Social media, it's selfie, it's all of these things. But in reality, I don't think many people like those kinds of people. I think, if I'm going to be in a relationship, I want someone to be genuinely interested in me and who I am.
Right.
And out of that, the overflow of that is comfort and communication and respect and all of those things.
Yeah, and Jesus modeled that well. And so then you said in the second point, you say that Jesus won people with an invitation to a relationship, not a religion. Now that's maybe a little cliche for some people who've gone to church a long time, but what do we mean that Jesus invited people into a relationship, not a religion?
Well, I mean, we're talking about Jesus here, right? And so I think the natural thing is to think, well, he's going to show up and it's going to be all about religion. When in reality, he met them where they were at. He said, "Come follow me," and it was the tax collector, specifically in Mark 2. And he's saying that regardless of what you've done, I'm not going to come and say, "Hey, you haven't done this," or you've done this wrong, you need to follow this set of rules. Instead it was, "Hey, come follow me and let's be relational. Let's find out what true faith and religion really is."
Yeah, because some people have probably grown up thinking about church and religion one way. They think it's all about a set of rules, it's all about this checklist. But the more you read about Jesus, the more you read that he was trying to get them beyond, not that rules are bad, and the checklist is bad, but when that becomes the point, then you're missing the real point. Jesus, of course, said the real point is relationship, right? Relationship with God, which he came to provide, and then relationship with people, with human beings.
Yeah, I think most importantly in our life, Jesus doesn't want to, again, like you said, it's important to follow after him and to find out what pleases him and do it, but the most important thing that we can do is to be in a relationship with him, a personal relationship with him. And the Bible says that when we put our faith in Jesus, we have that and we're saved,
So the last thing is very specific, and especially with the Pursue God resources in mind, you say this: we really win with people when we help them pursue God. Another way to say this is relationship is all about adding value to someone's life, and the greatest value you can ever add to someone's life isn't just to love them and be nice to them, but is actually to introduce them to Jesus and help them pursue God.
Yeah, to have their life change. Really, God created us so that we would be in relationship with him and help other people be in relationship with him. And I think this is contrary to culture, where we truly think that it should be about us. What can I gain? But in reality, it's what can God give? And I think what's interesting specifically about this point is the real win is when we step outside of ourselves and we help someone and point someone to Jesus, because that's the most important thing, And so God uses ordinary people like you and like me to point people to him, and that's really what we're called to do.
Well, and so just one last thing. People are thinking, wait, I'm not the kind of guy that carries this big Bible around and preaches. That's not what you're asking people to do is, okay, I'm going to bring my Bible to work and preach to people at work, preach the gospel to people at work. Is that maybe just a little more than what we're encouraging people to do, even though people could if they want to?
Yeah, I think that goes back to kind of the second thing that we talked about, right? Like in reality, it's not about religion. I think it's important to find out what pleases God, and the way we do that is through the Word. But before you can even get to that with someone, it's about relationship and context and love and all of those things. So I think that's the most important thing. And then the overflow of that is pointing people to Him.